What's up, YouTube fam? As promised, I'm really excited to be sharing today a very special video with you of all the ways the universe has provided for me. And I want to talk specifically about how we are the creators of our lives. Like, you right now listening to this, you don't realize it, but you are constantly manifesting everything that you desire, everything that you want to bring into your life, everything that you are wanting to embody or become or have is constantly wanting to also find you. And the best way that I just can describe this, and something that I've recently also learned, which has been really, really powerful in my own healing and connection with source journey, is that the flow of abundance, the flow of source energy is always connected to us. It's always flowing, it's always coming towards us, it's always there. We are never disconnected from it, and we can never turn off that flow of energy. But what sometimes happens is we can block it. And so the best way that I can describe this is that, let's say you have a desire, okay? We want to manifest this, we want to call something in. Now, when we focus on that desire, let's say we want to manifest a new car. It's probably the easiest example that I can give. When we're focused on that new car, when we're focused on how it's going to feel to have that new car, when we focus on just how exciting it's going to feel, the opportunity of what that can bring, where this new car maybe can bring us, we are in the flow of our source energy of the universe wanting to provide us with that new car. When we aren't obsessed about the how, when we aren't overthinking it, when we're not, so stressed of how it's going to come into our life, we are allowing that flow of energy. Now, when we start to focus on our old car and, the lack of not having the new car, when we're focused on how crappy our old car is, how much it sucks, how we still don't have the new car, etc., we are then blocking the energy of this new car wanting to come in, because where we place our energy, where we place our focus, that is what we create more of. So instead of, focusing on how exciting the new car might be and staying in that energy where we would eventually call that in, and we get stuck in the energy of lack, of fear, of never being able to maybe afford the new car, of the new car never finding us, we stay in that energy of we don't have what we want yet, therefore we are separate from what we want, therefore we lack it, therefore we do not have it, therefore we create more of the lack feeling, of the not having it feeling, and we manifest more of that. This happens all the time. And I think waking up to this and just learning more about it is a really, really simple shift for a lot of us to begin tuning into our manifestations powers and tuning into the fact that we are the creators of our lives. Because how often does it happen to you where you really want something, or you have a certain desire, or you really want to call something into your life, but you're so focused on not having it that you end up dwelling on the fact that you don't have it, and then you get kind of stuck in that energy of, I don't have it yet, I don't deserve it, I lack this, I fear this, I'm not worthy of having it. And then we get into this cycle and we wonder why our manifestations never actually find us. So just remember that you can never shut off that flow of source energy. We're always connected to it. And actually, like, whenever we desire something, we don't even have to verbalize it. It naturally wants to flow towards us. This is the law of attraction. When we want something, it will flow to us. But it's in our energy of where we stay, of where we focus on, of what we are, spending our time thinking about, is going to have a direct effect on if it finds us or not. So if you are focused on the fact that you don't have something, that is what you're going to call more in on. That's what you're creating more of. That's what you're manifesting. It's almost like we are always creating from a subconscious level, right? So if we feel really unworthy, if we feel like we lack everything that we desire, we just manifest more of that lack. Whereas if we start to step into the abundance available to us, even if we can't see it in our direct, immediate physical world or in the external world, if we stay in the possibility, if we stay in the excitement, the expectation that, okay, this is eventually going to get to me, I'm so excited, and for how it's going to feel, and for what's going to happen, and for all the opportunities that are going to find me, that is a completely different energy than that we're operating from versus the lack energy. And I wanted to firstly preface this video with that because I think that's super, super important to understand when it comes to synchronicities in our lives, when it comes to kind of random events popping in or happening to us, because nothing is random. There's always a reason for everything. And again, we're creating it. We're always projecting, we're always, receiving from a place of what is going on internally. So, in my own journey, there have been so many times in my life where I have absolutely created from a place of lack and fear, and I've created more lack and fear, and I've just, stayed stuck on this hamster wheel. And then when I was finally able to open up my eyes and break free from that and start to step into the energy and frequency of love, abundance, trust, surrender, play, excitement, expectation of the thing that I want to call in happening, everything changed for me. And there are so many scenarios, I wrote them out here so that I can tell you, that popped up for me, especially recently in the last 6 months. I'm mainly going to focus on the last 6 months because stepping into this energy of receiving an abundance and just expecting the best, I'm telling you, crazy things happen. So the first story that I want to tell you happened back when I was traveling in Mexico in Sayulita these last couple of months. I was there in May and June, and this felt like a portal to me. I really felt super tuned in. I was meditating every day. I was really living in the energy and the frequency of abundance, of the universe wants to provide for me. The universe wants to take care of me. And when I was waking up every single day, I would start to say things like, I'm so excited to see how money surprises me. I'm so excited to see what happens today and what comes into my world that I really am desiring. And crazy things were happening. One specific thing is I really love asking the universe for signs. So whether that be through, animals or pictures that you see or literal billboards, sometimes I'm like, show me a really big sign that I cannot miss. Maybe it's a saying on a billboard, or maybe it's, writing on a bathroom stall, whatever it is. I take all of those things as signs. I feel so tuned in when I ask for a sign. And specifically one morning, I remember I was walking to the beach. I was getting ready to do my morning meditation, and I just threw it out there into the universe and I said, please show me an elephant today if I'm, stepping into a path that is in alignment for me, if I'm about to receive abundance, if I'm connected, if I'm tuned in, basically just reaffirming that I'm on the right path. And with these asks, you can get super, super specific. I could have said, show me an orange elephant with a pink hat if I wanted to. But again, when you're kind of firstly getting into this type of looking for signs and connecting with the universe, I sometimes just like to be quite simple. So I said, show me an elephant, and that will mean that I'm on the right path. And so I let that go. The other part of this is not forcing it. You can't be looking everywhere, stressed and forcing it and trying to once again control. You have to have the ask and then let it go. Give it up to the universe. Trust that it will show you whatever you're meant to see, whenever you're meant to see it, even if it wasn't that day. I was leaving myself open to seeing that elephant the next day, or maybe a week from then, or maybe a month from then. So once again, you cannot force it, you cannot control it. That completely defeats the purpose. So anyways, later that day, I was just going about my day. I think I had seen some friends. I was eating good food. I was just enjoying my day. I was present. And then I remember in the evening, I went for ice cream with a girlfriend, totally randomly. She didn't even get ice cream. I was just like, I kind of feel like ice cream. So we went to this random shop that I had never been to before. And we're waiting in line. It's quite busy there. There's tons of people around us. And out of the corner in my eye, I look at the woman standing in front of us. And for whatever reason, I looked at her pants, and I kid you not, there was elephants all over her pants. Like, that was the design. It was pants made of elephants, literally. And right then and there, I was like, yep, that's my sign. I felt so tuned in. I trusted, and I just knew. I was like, okay, that is the universe communicating with me that whatever I asked for earlier that day had been received, had been validated. And seeing things like that, it's like, how can you not smile? It's just amazing. Some might say it's just a coincidence, whatever it is, but no, there's no coincidences. Those synchronicities are absolutely you connected to the universe. I would love to hear first, before I continue, if there's any signs from the universe that you love. The other ones that I really love are seeing eagles or hawks. and butterflies. Those are my like main two things that when I see those, that is the universe connecting with me and basically telling me that I'm supported, I'm guided, and that, I'm tuned in. Next, the okay, so next, the story that I want to share, it's a little bit more, I guess you could say, just an internal feeling of feeling connected and supported by the universe. I went into a bookstore last week, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about this. You may have seen on my last YouTube video, I shared a book called Ask and It Is Given, which is changing my life. And I also bought tarot cards, okay, recently. So I go into this library. I have no idea what I'm looking for. I just love going into bookstores. I just feel happy there. Okay. Like I love reading. I love looking at crystals, oracle cards, all those things. So I'm just perusing, I'm looking around, and just out of nowhere in my head, it pops in, okay, like look for a book on manifestation. So I've never been into this bookstore. I don't know where anything is. I end up going and asking one of the people behind the desk who know where everything is. So I go up to him and I say, I'm just looking for a book on manifestation. Can you point me into the direction of where those books might be or where that category might be? I had no specific book in mind. I just kind of asked for that specific topic. Right away, he leads me to an area in the bookstore and immediately hands me the first book, which is Ask and It Is Given. And right off the bat, I was like, this is the book. I just knew in my body that I was meant to be holding that book, that he was meant to give it to me. And in that moment, again, like I just felt like he was a messenger from the universe of like, you're ready for this book now. You're ready to read this. This is like the next step for you in deepening this connection to source energy and to yourself. And I didn't even have to look at any other books. I was like, this is the one. I was so happy and content and connected with that one. And then as I was holding that book and I was kind of looking at other ones, I just wanted to see what they had, different categories even. I had already picked a deck of oracle cards, which I love oracle cards, but something inside of me after holding this book was like, you need to get a tarot deck. Go look at the tarot books. And I was just like, what? Like, I've never read tarot in my life. I love when people read my tarot cards to me, but I've never ever wanted to get a deck. I've never looked into them. I have no idea how to read them. But something inside of me, something in my intuition was just like, go look at the tarot decks. You need to get a deck. And actually, the person that I was hanging out with that day, he came to the bookstore with me. He randomly came up to me with a how to read tarot book. And he was like, I found this. Like, maybe you might be into this. And I'm like, what? Like, what is happening? It was so synchronistic. So I go over to the tarot card area, and kind of immediately, this deck, I have it right here in front of me. Actually, this deck spoke to me. It chose me, and I was like, this is the deck. So I bought this, I picked it, and immediately in my body, when I was holding it in the bookstore, I felt energized. I just felt this almost like tingly, excited, like just really heightened sensation in my body. And to me, like just being more tuned in with myself, I knew like this is exactly right. This is exactly what I meant to get. This deck found me for a reason. So that was another really amazing experience to kind of connect to and have happen to me. And the one of the final things that I want to share, this story is actually kind of crazy. So recently I've been going to Vancouver a little bit. I live on the island, so I have to take a ferry back and forth to the island to get to Vancouver. So on my way back to the island, I'm on the ferry. I had kind of taken out my tarot cards just to kind of do a little mini reading. I'm still getting acquainted with the cards, still learning how to read them. And I'm just kind of sitting, listening with my music. I'm outside on the outer deck, and I didn't really notice anyone around me. I was just kind of in my own world. 10 minutes into the ferry ride, I look over to my right, and there's this woman sitting about maybe like arm's length or just a little bit more for like away from me. And she just looks so peaceful. By the way, she's beautiful. She's a little bit older than me. I would say she's like in her 40s or 50s, but she just has this energy. Also, her outfit was really bomb, but her energy was just so beautiful. And something inside of me was so loudly saying, you need to talk to her. You need to say something to her. You need to tell her that how beautiful she is. And it was just so loud. Like I kept kind of looking away from her and being like, oh my God, she's going to think I'm so weird and random for talking to her. But this voice would not go away. I took a few minutes just to be like, okay, like maybe I'm just whatever, like in my head about it. But I was just like, no, like I have to talk to her. Something inside of me At that point, I really felt like it was the universe talking to me saying, you need to talk to this woman. So I finally did, and I told her, I was like, you're beautiful, your energy is so beautiful. I just had to say, like, this is probably so random, it's probably really weird, but had to tell you. And so we start talking, and she actually says, I saw that you took out your tarot cards. I used to have a deck. It's so weird that you took that out because I haven't found my deck in years. So we start talking about tarot. Then I find out that she's going to Italy in the fall. I'm going to Italy in the fall. And I also found out that she used to live in Sayulita, which is where I just was and which is where I'm going back to in August. Like, what are the chances? I'm sorry, but that is not a coincidence. There were too many similarities, and it felt so easy to talk to her. We just clicked right away. Her energy was so beautiful. And we ended up talking the whole entire ferry ride, which was about an hour. And it just made my body feel so tingly and warm and happy to know when you trust your intuition like that, when there's that really loud voice of like, you need to do this, you need to talk to this person, you need to, for whatever reason, have this experience, to trust it and just know that that is your intuition so fully just connecting with source energy to help you have those connections or those experiences that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have if you weren't tapped in. So, once again, there are so many other stories that I could share, but I just want to remind you that you are the creator of your life and source energy is always flowing to you. We cannot mess it up. We can't stop it. We can't, you know, uh, we can't turn it off. It's always there. Sometimes we're just blocking it. Sometimes we're just on a different path where if something doesn't feel good, if it doesn't feel in alignment, if it doesn't feel good in your body, that is just your emotional guidance system telling you it's not right for you. It's not what you came here on this earth to do. And it's as simple as what lights you up, what makes you feel really good, what gets you excited, what makes your body feel excited. That is when you are in the flow of source energy. It really is that simple. So I would love to hear any signs from the universe, any experience you have manifesting, anything that you've maybe wanted to call in and it's come into your life in a really unexpected way. I would love to hear your stories. That always lights me up so much. And I just hope that you know that you are such a divine being who can literally create anything that you want. You're so abundant, you're so loved, you're so supported. I know that all of those moments were preparing me to expand and call in more love and to receive even more. So if you're going through anything right now, if you're going through a tough time, just know that it's happening for you. It's waking you up for a reason, and it's, trying to push you into a direction that is actually going to be in alignment with you, alignment with your soul and what you came here to do, and to find your purpose and discover yourself and be authentically you. You're so supported, you're so provided for, and I cannot wait to hear your stories in the comments. Subscribe if this is your type of content, because I'm here for it, and I'm so excited to keep diving into these things with you. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.